how do you really increase your financial thermostat and how do you 5x your income? Now for me, I'm going to share what works for me or what has worked for me in the last 2 to 3 years and how did that actually happen. There are multiple layers to deal with this situation. I know many of you here may want to be successful. You may want to achieve like great income, double, triple, go 5x in your income. But there are some things that may be stopping you. I know many of you here may be experienced in wealth. You may be experienced in making money. You may be experienced in law of attraction. You may be experienced in all kinds of topics related to money. I'm just going to share with you what works for me. Okay. So the first thing I want to share with all of you is that we are vibrational beings. The more we are able to align ourselves, like we are like a sender and a receiver. Okay. We have both of that in ourselves. So we can send information based on how we think, what we do, and we can also receive information. And like I mentioned before, that most of the world, 80-90% of this world, they are only living in autopilot. They are only in just thinking, and they are looped in their own thoughts, and they don't give themselves enough time to contemplate. Okay, so contemplation leads to creation. And when you contemplate, you start to vibrate. 3 to 4 years back, when I was at a point where I was not making enough money, I had the knowledge, I had the skills, I had the resources, I had everything in front of me, but it was not showing up in my bank account because there was some mismatch in my internal frequency in terms of spending money and me receiving money. There are different ways, the root causes of how our vibration gets misaligned. It would come from our childhood, the dinner table conversations that we would be having with our parents. It could also come from family members, relatives, close friends, teachers, schooling system, everything else. Okay, and it also comes from society. If you look at, by large, if you've noticed, many of the movies, usually the plot is the rich person is bad, except Batman. Okay, but if you look at all the other superheroes, most of the plot in the movies is like the good guy is the poor guy, is the underdog, and the rich guy is the bad guy. So even at a societal level, at a very subconscious, subliminal level, the message is going into our minds that, if you become very rich, you become arrogant. Or if you become too successful, then people will, you're a big shot, no one is going to come near you or whatever. You lose your values. You go and get into all kinds of bad habits and, you lose your spirituality and all that stuff. As a vibrational being, you need to understand that you cannot become something where you are despising yourself. If at a very subconscious level you are looking at rich and successful people as bad, or if you're looking at that entire world as something which is bad according to you, even though consciously you want to make money and you want to get rich, you're not going to get there because there is a mismatch in vibration. So the second concept I would like to share is that everything in this world, there is an input, there's a process, and there's an output. Okay, everything in this world, our human bodies, we eat food, it processes, and the output is in the form of energy that we have. Okay, and the leftover energy is excreted. Okay, you plant a seed, there's an input into the soil, there's a process that happens, and output is in the form of a tree, that plant that grows. So everything in this universe, everything has an input, process, and output. The way that I was able to decode my own success in the last 3 to 4 years is I consciously changed what inputs were getting into my system. Not only the food that I was eating, but also the information that I was consuming. So if you can control this variable, this will change. What do you think are the different ways we can control the inputs? The books that you read, being mindful, being in a higher state of awareness, being in the right company of people, or surrounding yourself with people who are vibrating at a higher frequency. Stop watching the news. Delete social media apps, absolutely. Conscious consumption, don't just randomly just keep going with all the reels on Instagram when there's because that's also an input, okay? That input is going to trigger some process, and that process is going to be creating the output. And most people today are living in fear and scarcity because of the bombardment by media on all these different factors. On the positive side, you can be more aware. You can exercise, you can go to the gym, surround yourself with people who you want to be a part of. In other words, you're the average of the 5 people that you associate with. So just do a mental check on who are your top 5 friends. So if you change your friends, if you change your books, and if you change the information and the inputs, the output will also change. But this is not going to happen overnight. Okay, so it will happen in phases, And it's not like today you're learning this and tomorrow you're going to see abundance in your life. It's not going to happen like that. It's like farming, right? You plant the seed, you nurture the seed, and it slowly grows, and you got to take care of that seed. The weeds will be there. The weeds will start to grow around it. You got to remove the weeds while the plant is growing, and then it'll slowly start to bloom. And many of you here maybe like the bamboo example. So the bamboo tree, it grows deep first and then it grows on the top. So I'm sure many of you here are going through the bamboo growth phase. Yeah, you're learning a lot, you're in this association, and I was in that bamboo growth phase for at least 4 to 5 years. Of course, that journey was more like figuring out different things, and the beautiful thing is if you're a part of our community, you don't have to go through that long learning curve. You can just implement the systems that have already been designed over here. Okay. Now let's come to the actual practical part of it. The practical part of it is managing your money is more important than making money. Money management is more important than just making the money. So with these 3 principles being the foundation, anyone can change their income. Anyone can shift and take their game to the next level. Of course, there are some other factors also. There is the factor of every action has an equal and opposite reaction, the law of karma. So maybe whatever you would have done in your past life or this life or whatever, there's also a phase where we have to face the music. I look at this entire journey like driving a car. Okay, not everybody who's driving on the road would get a freeway to go, would get the green lights. Okay, for some people who start a little earlier or later, there's going to be a time where they're also going to be hitting the red light. They got to wait there for some time, and then once it's green, then they step on it. Okay, so are all of you able to relate with the fact that based on our previous actions also, what is the mindset that we should be in, whether it's a red or a green light? So if it's a red light right now, instead of brooding and say, oh, I do not have money, I'm not having anything, I can't grow, whatever I'm doing is going to garbage and nothing is working. And if you're like that, then it's going to be a negative spiral loop and you're going to go downwards. If you're surrounding yourself with the right people, you can use that red light period to contemplate, to create. And I know clearly that during that phase where I was not making the money, it was not showing my bank account, but I was still learning. I spent a lot of time on contemplating new ideas and stuff. And then when I launched, things started to move much faster than those experimental days. All of our journeys are different. You can't compare your journey with my journey with somebody else's journey, but we can relate with the journey. But each one of us have our own paths and lessons and God's curriculum He has given us. Okay, we have a different curriculum and different things to go through to learn and integrate different lessons. Okay, so that's another dimension and a different layer. Okay, now let's come to the next part, which is what are these layers? Okay, so the first layer is the physical layer, then we have the mental layer, then we have the emotional layer and the spiritual layer. Okay, these are the four. We have 4 bodies actually. Okay, physical, mental, emotional and spiritual. All these 4 bodies are working together. And when there's a misalignment in these, that's when we have dis-ease. When you're not at ease, dis-ease, okay, disease. And the disease is not just the bodily disease, it could also be mental, it could also be emotional. That could be physical disease, mental disease, emotional disease. And of course, when it comes to spirituality, maybe there's no disease there, but it's more like death. People feel that there's nothing like God or they don't have any connection to the universe. In the physical realm, okay, let's come to the physical realm. What do you think are all the things that one can do to improve their financial situation? Marketing, money management, setting up of all your bank accounts, yeah, building a structure, creating systems, taking action, doing the sales. Ultimately, it'll all come down to your physical thing itself. When you change the physics of things, everything will shift. Now, tell me, what do you think you can do mentally to improve your financial situation? You can reprogram your mind. Mind equals mental, okay? Affirmations, reprogramming, getting, associating with the people who are having a higher financial frequency. You're listening to the strangest secret in the world. Now let's go to the next part, which is when it comes to emotional side, gratitude, love, healing the past wounds, because most of these money wounds are there from our past, from our childhood and from our growth and on different situations. And of course, loving yourself. You need to be worthy. You need to deserve that, right? And most people don't feel deserved. So self-love, it starts there. And then when it comes to spiritual angle, contribution, charity, intuition, service, meditation. In other words, aligning your pursuit of financial abundance to a spiritual cause. Like when you align your material pursuits to a spiritual cause, suddenly there's a new meaning to you doing your business. There's a different layer that opens up. Okay. Now, I'm not saying you got to be religious. Like some of you may be inclined towards religious spirituality. Some of you are into, non-religious spirituality. But whatever you believe in, whatever your faith is, whatever your process that you're following, see if you can connect it to that cause. Because personal needs are, there's only that much that we need. Okay. We just need, we can only eat that much. We can only buy so many number of things. Once that is all set, then everything else is going more towards contribution and the vision and mission and stuff like that. So now let's get deeper into this particular concept. Okay. You got to work on your character. You got to work on redefining your persona. Okay. Your persona. So the first part, and this is something that I've shared before, but I'm going to be refreshing this once again. What you think is what you'll think about more. Normally people are in the zone of thinking loop, and they're not in the contemplation to creation zone. Okay. So they're just getting into the loop like this. So those people who are in the contemplation zone and creation zone, they are in the positive feedback. And those who are in the automated thing are in the negative feedback loop. So you got to look at shifting the patterns through awareness. Okay. So your current character, what you have right now, it takes orders from your mind, and the mind is like the driver of your life. Okay. So your mind is a master, and it can make the character dance in whatever way it likes. And of course, if you read the scripture in spirituality, there's something higher than that, which is the intelligence. And there's something higher than that, which is the true ego. Okay. Not the false ego, but the true ego. And there's something higher than that, which is the soul, which is full of knowledge, full of bliss and eternal. Okay. If you actually look at your current character and what is there in your life, whatever you're manifesting in your life right now, it all has to do with your current character. So the most important factor when it comes to vibration and thermostat and how much money is in your bank account, all has to do with this. Okay. If you see here, your current character and what you're thinking and what you're vibrating and all of that stuff has brought about your current situation. What inputs you have given yourself like 3-4 years ago, those inputs are still driving you right now. That is manifesting your current reality. How much money is in your bank, how your relationships are, how healthy you are, all of that stuff. And of course, there's a layer of the invisible hand of time and karma that's also playing. Okay. And of course, there's another layer, which is the deeper you study on the planets and other things, that also affects the way we think. Okay. The sun, the moon, the stars, the planets, and the whole astrology, there's a whole science behind it on how it when planets shift, it also shifts the way that we think. So now when you look at most people, they want to live that dream life. They want that ultimate situation to be in terms of how much money they want to make and lifestyle. The problem is a lot of people, when they're going in their current character and they're moving towards that dream life, when some situation happens, they bounce back like a rubber band, where you want to pursue, you started the journey to pursue something, and then as you're going towards that goal, you just retreat, you just implode. The reason why that happens is you have not defined your new character. Like you're not clear about who you should become in order to deserve that. A very important part of creating abundance is not just about affirmations and vibrating and surrounding yourself with other people, but also having clarity on who you should become to deserve that. So when I say clarity in character, it is more like some people, they just say, I'm just an introvert, and they have tagged themselves. Some people say, I'm not very outgoing. Some people say that I'm a very shy person. Some people say that I'm not good at sales, or I'm not good at this, I'm not that, I am this, I am that, I am dash, I am dash, I am not dash. So all of these tags, you have to first drop those tags, because when you drop the tags, that allows you to explore a new side of you that you would have never thought that you could do. And so if you actually think about it, I mean, if I have to share my journey in the last 3 to 4 years, has been just exploring new possibilities without really judging. I'm open to new ways of doing things. I'm open to trying new things and new ideas. And another aspect of it is having a mentor, having a guide who can show you what to do. Like for me, when I connect with Blair and Vic, and of course Sam Owens, and this what you're seeing here is something I learned from him. Like all these three started to integrate all the knowledge. In fact, all three of them, in terms of their philosophy, is pretty much the same, just that their methods were different and the media is different. But are all of you clear on the fact that if you have to change your financial situation, you got to redefine your character? For me, if you see, my journey has been this. Okay, when I was 32 years old, I was making 40,000 rupees per month. At 39 years old, I've done over 40 crores. So that exponential growth curve has happened because of changing the vibration, changing the frequency. And like whatever I've shared till now is like I've been implementing that, and the universe has given me different tests at different points of time and continues to give me different tests. Going to Johannesburg, South Africa, 2017, 800 people in the room, selling to them and getting zero sales and getting my ego crushed to the bottom. Okay, been through that experience. Done multiple webinars with zero sales. Experienced all kinds of challenges in my advertising and multiple other things. So, and every time a challenge comes, like, yes, there's another way to do it. Okay, there's another way to do it. And so you need to be relentless. So how does it really happen? What do you focus on? There are 3 parts to it. The first stage is if you have to increase your financial thermostat, financial frequency, it starts with awareness. And I'll give you a good example of awareness because I love playing video games. So I've been playing this game, Zelda Breath of the Wild, for a long time. Nintendo Switch. Love the game. It takes many months to finish. I'm holding the controls and it's a single player game, like going different places. I'm going to different places. I'm getting different powers. I'm finishing different quests. And you know what? If you are able to look at your life like that, where you're not seeing the world, but you're like one step back and looking at yourself, that's how I like to decode what is awareness. So when you're feeling angry, you're able to step back and say, yeah, my emotions are going off. When you are feeling sad, depressed, okay, you're taking one step back and say, oh, Siddharth, this character is feeling depressed. Say you got physically injured somewhere. Okay, you take one step back. There is pain. It's not that you're not experiencing the pain, but you're taking that one step back and observing from another perspective. When you are in this state, what will happen is you won't take everything so seriously. Okay. You will start to, so awareness, it's in different areas. One is awareness in terms of your mind. When you listen to a stranger secret in the world, when you write your goals, when you do your affirmations, it really helps you sharpen your awareness because you are tuning yourself to a frequency of attracting what you really want. Like most people they focus on what they don't want. And when you write your goals every single day, 2 pages of goals, 10 goals into 2 pages, 20 goals every day, when you do that, you're exercising your mental muscle and you're also sharpening your awareness. Okay. The second part is the affirmations. If you do 10 minutes a day. So I have the creed, sidz.co/creed. You can download that. So the freedom creed, it's all what I've taken from Harv Eker, from various other places. That's one more way of reprogramming your mind. And then awareness in terms of your body. Like all of this also are inputs. The food that you eat, the water, if you're having enough water, if you're doing enough exercise, if you're sleeping enough. Like, would all of you agree with me that all of these factors are getting into your body also impacts how you think? And then the space that you're in, if your physical space, your digital space, your emotional space, see if you can declutter those spaces. Remove notifications, delete all the social media apps, unsubscribe from all the emails that are irrelevant, clean up your work machine, stay away from people who are not aligned with your goals and vision. Okay, if they are in your own house, in your family, you got to respect them and you got to create that space for yourself. But if they are outside, spend lesser time with people who are not aligned with where you want to go. And then give space for your soul, meditate. You can use this app called Headspace where you want to just do guided meditation just to clear the cache and clear the clutter in your mind. Spend time with your family and, love is the core. Okay. Especially in a business model like this, you got to be a people lover. You can't just be too much on the head. Okay. It's not just about numbers and intellectual stuff and ROI, ROAS, and you're just talking numbers. There has to be some connection at a heart level. Would all of you agree? Type agree in the chat box. Okay. I always say this. This business is a combination of head and heart. You need to use your head for all the strategic thinking and your heart for your community building and being in that abundance mindset, like allowing everybody to succeed, being happy, seeing other people successful, not looking at anybody as competition, okay, collaborating, not trying to bash down others. It comes from a root of scarcity. If anyone is bashing anybody else down, saying that, okay, this is better, that is better, okay, the whole marketing style, it comes from a space of scarcity. But abundance is more productive, it's more creative, it's more inspirational kind of stuff. Okay, and that can only happen when you're working on this. And then watching your diet, what you eat. We already focus of the body diet. I'm talking about diet is information diet. Okay, listening to a podcast a day. Maybe in our community, you're listening to one Hall of Fame every single day. and following the pace of the hackathon. Those of you are doing the hackathon, like getting on a low information diet. The next thing is the creation. So as I mentioned, contemplation leads to creation. Is the creation happens when you are going through all of this information, and let's say you go and sit after this and you just spend like 30 minutes of your time going through your notes and see if you can come up with a game plan for yourself on how you can incorporate these ideas into your life. Let's say after we finish this session, if you're able to spend some time on this contemplation part, now that's going to put you into a frequency that's going to take you to the abundance. Okay, so that's going to put you in a frequency where you'll get ideas. It's like radio frequency. Even for me, when I'm listening to Stranger Secret in the World, my mind is tuning to a particular radio frequency, a particular channel FM. Okay, that's an abundance channel, and from there I'm getting some ideas. It could be some small ideas like do this, maybe change the headline on your landing page. Maybe you try this in your ad campaign. Maybe you just think about this topic for your next webinar. Like I get all these small whispers and these small ideas. It may not be a game-changing idea. It could be something small. But once you are in this state of awareness, and when you're thinking and contemplating on things, you'll get these ideas. Put those ideas into action like super fast. And then the manifestation happens at the next phase. Okay, so when you have a strong belief in what you're doing, you'll start to shift your orbit, your thinking, your pattern shifts. And I'm sure many of you here are experiencing this, that because your thinking has changed, you're not able to connect with some of your old friends. You're not able to have conversations with people that you were having conversations with 1 year ago. So that is a sign that something has shifted in you. That's a sign of you evolving. That's also a good thing because your character is changing. Your character is not changing, it's evolving. Along with this, when you're tapping into a higher consciousness, let's say those of you who are spiritual, you go to different places, high energy centers, you're giving charity, temples, churches, mosques, gurudwaras, you're tapping into the higher consciousness and becoming an instrument in their in their vision and their mission. Then the gates of abundance will open. So many times when I go to any temple, when I do a prayer, I just say that I'm just an instrument. Please allow me to be a channel to what you feel is best for me. Okay, I don't want to ask you for anything with a checklist. I want you to just put me in the zone where if you feel something is good for me, then put me in that place. Okay, that's always a better way to pray. Yeah, we are writing our goals, that's one thing, but when you go to these higher zones and connecting with your creator is more like, it's better to be in a zone where you tell, okay, you know what's best for me, and you put me in the right place. Allow me to be the instrument. That's a good space to be, and at that moment you'll start to see opportunities, things will start to come up, all the dots will start to connect. Now let's come down to the system. If you want to raise your financial frequency, your financial thermostat, and really increase your income and stuff by 5x, number one is you got to get good at making money. And when it comes to making money, I want all of you to type in the chat box and let me know what do you think are required for you to make money. What do you need? Skills, sales. You need a really good product or a service, whatever you're offering. And if you're a part of my community, it's all about offering them a membership into the community, nurturing knowledge, products, understanding the market, understanding market size. So that's the first part. Get good at making money. The second thing is you got to get good at managing your money. And I told you in the beginning, so the secret is to be a good money manager. If you can manage your money well, you'll also be able to make money. If you can't handle a single scoop of ice cream, you can't handle a triple scoop ice cream. Okay. So how do you do that? You need to follow a formula. You can use the jar principle. Harv Eker has a jar principle. What I learned from my mentor Vic is get down to managing your money into 5 different categories: tax, wealth, charity, general, and operations. Okay, just divide your money into this 5 different bank accounts and start to work. So that comes down to the system. And the third part is the multiplication of money. The best way to multiply your money is to take what is in the wealth account and then invest into whatever stocks, gold, mutual funds, SIPs, real estate. There are so many vehicles that are there. So the making money, what we are doing here is we are creating this is more like core income, which is our community. What we are selling community. And then we also have our affiliate, the other affiliate income tools. All income streams is the core income, but this core income has to go into proper management. A lot of people make the mistake that they're making the money and they just put it directly into stock markets and stuff like that. They don't really create a structure of this. They don't really manage the money in the best possible way. So this is what's been working for me. If you ask me what has worked for me in the last 3 to 4 years, is I don't really get emotional when it comes to money. If there's money in my charity account, I'll give it. If it's not there, I don't give it. If there's money in the wealth account, then I invest in different stocks, and I have a fund manager who works with me. So I'm trying to connect all the dots possible. Okay, there's a mindset element, there's a skill set element, there's a tool set, and many things are there when it comes to creating that income. So if I have to boil it down to a few actions, here are the top 5 actions that I have for you as we come to the end of this. The first thing is heal your past and change your beliefs. Meaning, if you have been hurt when it comes to money in the past, if you've been duped, or if you've been put into some situation where you lost your wealth, or somebody told you that you're not good enough, or somebody in your childhood said rich people are bad, or whatever is that case, right? That becoming too rich is going to cause this problem or whatever. Fear of failure, or fear of success, or fear of rejection, or fear of all those fears that you have. The first action is I would like you to go to that, identify what it is and change the story. Identify what it is. So if you were duped, or if you were robbed, or something happened to you, go to that situation, thank that situation, saying that thank you that I went to the situation, because if not for the situation, I would not be good at managing my money. So I needed that lesson, and I've integrated that lesson. Thank you so much. I'm ready for abundance. Okay. You can do the 5 why reasoning, you can do all of that stuff. But the whole idea is to identify what is that problem and change the story of that. Rather than blaming the situation, thank that situation, bless the situation. Just think that, okay, great, this happened to me. Find the brilliance in that situation. And once, it's easier said than done, but once you do it right, once you change the story, everything will change. Okay. And this is also a part of the personal development process. The second thing you can do is to increase your own worth. I'm not talking about just the self-worth part over here. I'm talking about also your knowledge. There's a lot of people in the personal development world, they get into, say, law of attraction. Okay. So law of attraction is the secret and all that stuff. But there is another word in the word attraction, action. Okay. So you got to take action. It's there inside the word attraction. Most people miss this out. They think that they visualize the whole day and just sit and expecting things to happen. It's never going to happen. So you got to build your skills on a daily basis, and you got to increase your worth. So there's knowledge on one part and application of the knowledge on the other part. So you increase your worth by doing more. Okay. The third part is manage your money, like I already mentioned, using the formula. The fourth action is give towards charity. It's a very simple thing, but it's extremely powerful. The most successful people in the world that I've seen, they are very consistent in charity. And number 5 is surround yourself with people with a higher financial frequency, or whatever you want to achieve. In this case, you're talking in terms of money. You want to become more spiritual, surround yourself with spiritually elevated beings. You want to have better relationships, surround yourself with people with a very high love frequency. You want to get good at managing your money better, find people who are good money managers and surround yourself with them. So whatever you want to achieve, you just need to find that group of people and form a mastermind. Okay. But ultimately, you have to go inwards. You have to go deep inside you to find out. See, you can take as much of notes as you can in terms of what I've taught today, and you can refresh and revise the notes, and you can feel good that you know about these concepts. But these concepts are not going to have any impact on you until you go and heal yourself and open yourself to a new possibility, and allowing yourself, giving yourself the permission to change your character, keeping your values intact. Okay. But evolve your character. So if you found this useful, type super useful in the chat box. And I've come to the end of this particular session. Okay. Thank you so much.